Hey, today I'm going to be checking out a granular reverb plugin from Mondo Loops. This plugin is called Dust Verb. Sounds right up my alley. In fact, I got an Instagram ad for it and I was like, that looks sick. Mondo Loops was kind enough to send me a copy of the plugin to use in a video. So thank you, Mondo Loops, for sending Dust Verb my way. This is going to be me just exploring the plugin. It's not a guide. It's not how to use the plugin. It's how I would use the plugin. I'm going to be in Ableton today using my frame template that you can buy for Ableton, Logic Pro, or Cubase. It's a template that I put together using processing and routing that I have enjoyed throughout the years that people have always asked me about, and I finally just put it in a package and gave it to you. You can find a link to Frame in the description. You can also find a discount code for the entire Gumroad store in the description. Or if you want a higher discount for just Frame, jump in at the Field Tone Audio Patreon. Even free members get a bigger discount on Frame. So check that out. Free membership gets you a bunch of stuff at the Patreon. Link to Frame in the description. Link to Dust Verb in the description. So let's check that out. So here is just a little bit of how Frame sounds. Just such a wonderful sound. That's what Frame sounds like. So again, if you want to grab Frame, link in the description. Ableton, Logic Pro, Cubase. I love it. I'm so excited to share that with you. But we're checking out Dust Verb today. I'm going to get rid of the reverb that comes with Frame, and I'm going to load up Dust Verb from Mondo Loops. It's Mondo Loops' first plugin. It is a granular reverb, which again, just really resonates with me. It's something that I would use anyway. So when I found this, I was stoked because it's awesome. So I'm going to mute the delay. I'm going to mute the flutters, and I'll mute the pad reverb. And let's do something a little different. Let's put in Expressive Chords, and we'll change it to, well, let me show you how to do this. So we're going to add a MIDI clip, extend it. So if we turn on this scale icon here, all of these keys will be in the key of F minor. So you won't be able to put in a MIDI note that is not part of the key that you're in. So any MIDI note that you drop in here will sound good because it restricts the range to whatever key you're in, which is really awesome if you want to stay in a key, but maybe you don't know all that much about what notes are in a key. This is a good way to learn that. And then it's also a good way to stay within that key if you want to just do something quickly. What's cool about Expressive Chords is that if you turn this on and then you put a MIDI note in, it'll generate a chord. So instead of just playing a G3, it'll hit whatever chord is triggered by that G3 MIDI note. Here we can see it's not a G3. It doesn't even have a G in it at all. It is this chord down here. And then we can just put in another chord here. Let's find one that sounds good that comes after that. That's fun. And then what we can do too is change the chord pack. So this will change the type of chords that it'll play. So if we drop in this cinematic, generate cinematic chords. If we drop in classic house, it'll play house chords. So a little bit different. Then you can do all this other stuff down here. You can invert some of the notes. You can strum it, so it'll have like a strumming. Let me open this and bring down the tuning. Yeah, that's pretty cool. This sample library, by the way, RIA Multisynth, comes included with Frame, along with Wrist Distress Piano, which is just a upright piano that I recorded. It was in the corner of a church, and I just went over and played a bunch of notes using my phone and turned it into a sample library. So those are both included with Frame. Let's bring the tempo up a little bit, and then let's jump into Dust Verb. So that's how you can use expressive chords in Ableton, by the way, which is that's how I like to use it. It's really fun. Keep this looping. And then we'll jump in here. So let's turn the mix up. Turn the size up. Probably need level over here. There we go. So let's go back to the init patch. So here is just the basic reverb, the way that it loads up. Filters up here at the top. There's a high pass filter and a low pass filter. So here you can change it to just grains only mode. So now we're only hearing the grains. You can add a shimmer, which typically shimmer is like my least. It's not like my least favorite. Shimmer is my least favorite effect in all of effects, but this sounds pretty decent. And the fact that you can dial it in by percentage, that's pretty cool. So here's just the reverb. This sound is really cool. Love a good freeze function. So really easy to understand this layout here. If you just hover over any of these parameters, it'll show you what each thing does, which is really handy. Well, let's listen to some of the presets. That was just the init patch. Here is the Shimmer preset. Nebula. Let me put you onto one more. This is a rolling sampler, which is my favorite utility plugin ever made. As you can see right here on the screen, it's recording the audio that you're hearing right now. And you can change the duration of that to anywhere from 15 seconds all the way up to 10 minutes. Right now it's at 45 seconds. But you can highlight anything in here and click and drag it. So now you can have that as a sample. Or if you wanted to, you could drag it right into your project. So now you have that as audio, which is so cool. That's rolling sampler. I'll put a link to that in the description as well. I think every musician should have that. I usually put it on like my main out So this is when I would use that, as I would drag this, capture this reverb tail, and then that could become a pad in a sample library in the future. So that's Nebula. Here's Shine. Different animation there, which is really cool looking. Here's Roomy. Let's change up these chords here. Take the strum out. I'm curious about those cinematic ones. Let's put those back in here. Let's change the key to D sharp major. C sharp major, sorry. That sounds nice. In the key of C sharp, D flat major. Let's go back to Dust Verb over here. We were on Roomy. Let's go to Stutter. That's a cool one. This one's just called Dust. Here's Implosion. Space dust, different from the regular dust. And then Explorer is the final preset. Lovely. Stealing that. Let's put my flutters back in. And the delay back in. I love this. If you throw something like reels on here. Well, this is just an absolutely wonderful, dusty reverb. Let's record this in. I'm going to enable print just the reverb. Well, I'll print this too. Within Frame, I have all of the tracks enabled to record. So if you want to record just the reverb send, you can do that. Then what we can do is drag this down to what I have labeled the tape machine. But what I want to do here is slow it down. Let's go up to like 110. Let's put another reverb on it. Let's just put another Dust Verb on the reverb tail of Dust Verb. Up a little more. Let's go to 90. There you go, Dust Verb from Mondo Loops. Just a wonderful reverb. Something that I would play with all the time and might end up being one of my go-to reverbs now. Thank you, Mondo Loops, for sending this my way to check out here on the channel. Link to Dust Verb in the description. Check out Frame. Check out the Patreon. Hope you had fun watching. We'll talk soon.